Good afternoon, guys, and happy Thursday to all of your sunshiny faces. I am headed out to the football game. We're gonna leave in just a little bit. Actually, guys, so looking at it, I don't know if we're supposed to be playing on the same field as the varsity. I looked at it and it says something different. It says like upper field, and then at the varsity it just says like the place we're playing at. Whereas it says like the place we're playing upper field. So I'm thinking the freshmen are going to be on a different field. So I again don't know if the quality of the film that I'm going to get is going to be very good, because we probably won't have bleachers. I looked and there was 2 other fields, and so I think we're going to be at one of those. Maybe we might be on the home field, the actual football field, but I don't know if we're going to be on that or if we're going to be on one of the side fields. So yeah, guys, it kind of stinks. So I don't know how much or what footage I'll have for you guys. The other thing too is that my phone is a little not completely charged up. I totally forgot. I was like, oh yeah, I have to bring my phone over here. I brought it, put it over by my desk, and forgot to actually plug it in. So I'm gonna bring the charger with me and charge up in the car, but I probably won't have a whole, it's not gonna be completely charged up, because it's only gonna be less than half-hour drive or so to get there. And then on top of that too, guys, we're also getting our the stuff for our roof is being delivered literally right now. So we're people in our drive, we had to move the car, yeah. So we're leaving. We have a path to get out so we can leave, but yeah, so originally we were blocked in because they were out on the street, but then my mom moved the car and my dad had to move his truck further because he was already on the street. So yeah, guys. Anyways, though, we will be headed out in just a little bit. So I will, like I said, if I get any footage for today, it might be honestly a few little clips like it was last week. And the week before that I didn't get much, but we were home last week. That was just because I didn't feel great, and I told you guys that's why I ended up not recording as much. But hopefully I will be able to get some footage. Hopefully we'll be at least in a little bit better viewing angle than we were last week. So I'm also thinking we should try and leave a little earlier so that we can get a good spot to sit, or we might be again on the actual the actual football field and not the practice field. So yeah, we'll see, guys, but I'll include any football footage that I have for you guys. Well, guys, we're back from the football game, and the freshman game was such a crazy, intense, good football game. It was 0-0 down to the last minute and 12 seconds, and then we ended up fumbling it at our own 2-yard line, I think. Anyways, we put their offense within 2 yards of being able to score, and then they ended up scoring. And they went for a 2-point conversion and got it, and so it was 8-0 with a minute and something seconds left, and then 2 plays later our quarterback got hurt, so we put in a backup quarterback, and we ended up not getting any touchdown at all, which, guys, yeah, I don't even know what to say, what to go into. I think I said this before too, our offense cannot score points. We just are not running the right offense. I don't know what else to say. We've scored 2 touchdowns so far in 5 games, and one of them was thanks to Jack's fumble that he got at the 5-yard line or whatever it was, which Jack had another fumble today. And guys, I didn't get it on film because I told you guys, I was I'm pretty sure that we were going to wind up being at a grass field. We were. They actually had one tiny set of bleachers for the guest side. The home side didn't have any, actually, but there wasn't even enough. So we actually did bring our lawn chairs, or you know, chairs, what you call it, yeah, like our lawn chairs, and ended up like our folding chairs, and brought those, and we waited actually until the last minute. My mom's like, oh, it should be fine, like we won't need them, they'll have bleachers, right? And I was like, honestly, if we're at the grass field, I don't know if we're going to. I was like, let's be safe, like let's be safe rather than sorry. And it was a good thing we did, because by the time we got there, the bleachers were pretty much already filled. Like you probably sat like maybe 10 people, like that was it. And then they ended up like I said, they were filled up by the time we even got there, and we got there like at the beginning of the game pretty much. Actually, we got there when the game was starting, because we ended up walking to one side, found out that the gate was closed, and then had to walk literally all the way back around, all the way to the other side to then get into the game, which would have been like okay if we knew which direction we were supposed to be going at the beginning. But I was like, oh, like the kids are right over there, like literally where we parked in the parking lot, they were just like right to our left, right? Well, right to our left, right? No, they were just to our left. And I was like, oh, we can get in probably over here, and we'll just go in and go through. And the gate was closed, and there was like nobody there that would have like let us in or anything like that. So we had to walk all the way around 2 baseball fields and a set of tennis courts to then get in, and then walk all the way, like keep going all the way past the other baseball diamond, and then get to the football field. So we ended up getting there, and then the game was like just starting. And honestly too, I was like, wow, we're making really good time. Even with traffic, we were gonna get there like 7 minutes early. I was like, that's perfect time to like, you know, get all of our stuff out, and you know, have some time to be able to like, you know, breathe before the game actually starts. And we got there, and they were like literally doing kickoff as we were like walking past the field, because it took us so long to walk around to get to it, which wasn't that bad then when like we were walking to the varsity like game, because it was right across. But yeah, anyways, that's a different story. So we ended up getting there, and like I said, I recorded a little bit more maybe at the beginning, and then like a little bit throughout the middle part of the game, but it was really hard because of where the sun was also setting. Like I couldn't see anything, and I kept having to hold my hand up, and I was like, honestly, it's probably just going to be like huge like lens flares in the camera, because that's when I was trying to record during that like middle to end, when they were like on that side where the sun was setting, would have been harder to record. And that was right when the defense was in the game, and they made this huge stop, and Jack actually ended up getting a fumble. I think it was just a bad handoff, and Jack actually was already on the ground. He said he got knocked over, was already on the ground, and then just fell on top of the ball and dove on top of it and ended up getting it, which I was like, this is awesome. So Jack has now had 2 fumble recoveries, guys, which is like crazy and amazing. Yeah, guys, it's pretty cool. So like his freshman year, I don't even think Matthew had that many yet, his like freshman year, and Jack has got 2, which again, we're like halfway through the season now. But guys, I've got a horrible pounding headache. It's hurting so bad, like seriously. It was bothering me like right at the beginning of the varsity game, and then it went away, and then it came back again, and now it's hurting me again. And I ended up eating at the football game. I had pizza, and like my stomach got so upset from like whatever the heck was in their pizza, like I don't even know too. So my stomach and my head are both killing me like crazy, and I feel like my voice is kind of gone, and my nose too is super stuffy. Everything, I feel horrible right now. And like I said, during the actual football game, I was like, oh, no big deal, like I feel fine. But I feel like complete and utter trash right now. And I like need to go and take a shower. Like my brain is hurting me so bad. But yeah, guys, the freshman game was amazing. It was awesome. I wish we would have gotten the win. Like I said too, it was like we could move the ball on offense. Like they looked good. Like guys, I don't know what the problem is, other than like I can say it's the offense. I can say maybe it's a few kids on the team that like just like, there's kids on the team that are really just like, you know, it's their like, you know, you can tell from looking at the kids like it's a team, it's a family. And then other kids, you're like, they don't care. And like, yeah, it's like, I mean, it was plain and obvious too, especially because of where we were sitting. There was no sidelines. Like, all the kids were basically standing where all of the parents were sitting. Like, so you could hear every little thing that was going on, like what the kids on the sidelines and stuff like that. Which, like I said, was they didn't the thing is, guys, this was like so horrible because, again, we weren't playing on the main field because they had a soccer game going on, but this was such a horrible, like, field to be practicing on. Like, at least at the other one, like, you could see, like, okay, like, here are the line markers and everything like that. I couldn't even tell where the 50-yard line was. I couldn't even tell where the end zone was. They had no, like, yard markers. I don't even know that they had pylons. Like, to be totally honest, they might have. I think they did have pylons, but, like, you couldn't tell where the 10-yard line was then after that, the 20, the 30, like, and then the kids, too, are supposed to stand past the, like, 25 or something like that. Like, the kids and coaches aren't supposed to go past, like, the 25 or whatever it is, or the 15. I never remember. But, yeah, so, like, they're not supposed to go past that. And the kids had no clue where that was, and then the referees kept yelling at them, being like, you're supposed to be over past this thing, and then they're like, we have no clue where that is. And, like, then we got a sideline warning too, because one of the parents was, like, yelling something at one of the kids who was, like, doing something to our quarterback, and then we got a sideline warning. But I was like, honestly, like, if we weren't standing, like, right almost on the field, like, you wouldn't have been able to hear us. If we had normal bleachers, like a normal field, like where we're supposed to be playing, like, you wouldn't have been able to hear him if he was talking, like, because you could literally hear everything. Like, if I would have just been like, wow, that was a bad call, the referee would have been like, you can't say that, like, because I'm standing, like, literally right next to the referee, because we're on the same field, like, and we're at the same level, like, we're not in a bleachers or anything like that, like, and there was no, like, at least at the other field, like, there was a track that, like, separated, you know, there's, like, some spacing and stuff like that. There's, like, no spacing. Like, we were either gonna be in the trees, or we were gonna be, and we were playing on a baseball diamond too, so there was, like, a fence around it too, so, like, we couldn't even back up anymore. We couldn't, like, be any more forward, because then we were, like, in, like, sitting in with, like, where all the kids were. Like, there was, like, maybe, like, 20 yards or something like that, but between, like, the baseball fence and the football field. So it was like, you had, like, nowhere to, and, like, you know, like I said, we could hear everything that was going on the sidelines. The kids freaking out, the coaches freaking out, the you know, parents yelling, like, the referees, all the talking, you know, all that kind of stuff. Like, you could just hear everything, and it's like, you know, like I said, you can't get mad at somebody for saying something when you're literally, like, on, like, you know, you can't throw sideline warning on fans, because they're, like, I mean, unless you're, like, yelling something, like, that's, like, completely disrespectful, but, like, if you're just yelling stuff, like, that's the whole point of being a fan. That's what you do. Which I think it might have been kind of something a little bit, like, you know, I don't really know what was said, but that's kind of the same thing too, is that, like, it was kind of like, the kid was, like, it was an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty that ended up getting called against the kid for our quarterback. But, like, you know, like I said, it's kind of the same thing when you're, like, that close, and we got, like, a sideline warning kind of thing, which I don't even know if it was really a sideline warning, but he came over and told our coach, like, you gotta get the parents to all stand back. And I was like, I was about ready to yell, like, well, we shouldn't be playing here. Like, you know, I wasn't actually yelling all that much during the game. Like, kind of more at the end of the game, but it was more just like, come on, defense, let's go. Like, I didn't know what else to yell. But my voice is kind of gone too. And then the varsity game was, I told you guys, I was like, oh, they should win. Like, we ended up playing the team that got beat by the team that we played last week that we almost won. Like, that was that super, super close game. And I was like, oh, and so the team that we played last week beat the team that we played this week. And they ended up scoring 56 or 57 to 12 was the final score, like, something like that. Like, it was a really, really, or maybe it was 14, I think we went for the 2 points. It was a really bad game, and I was like, I don't even know how this ended up happening. Like, it was a complete blowout. And honestly too, since the freshmen had such a close game, the freshman sophomore team, I was like, wow, the varsity's probably gonna win. But I think I told you guys too, because it's supposed to thunderstorm, like, all day tomorrow. That's why they ended up moving the date and stuff like that. And I think all of our kids were just thrown off because it was a Thursday game. Like, they have school tomorrow, and, like, the game went by really fast. Like, we got, I think it was over by, like, 9 o'clock or something like that. But it started early because like I said, the soccer game ended up ending earlier than when the freshman game ended up ending. So they ended up starting the varsity game earlier than when they normally would. Like, I think it started honestly like 6 o'clock or 7 maybe, or something like that. Maybe it did start at 7 o'clock, and I think it ended up ending at like 9:30. Like, it was only like a 2.5 hour game, whereas like last week it ended up going to like almost 11 o'clock at night. But I think they ended up, like I said, starting it a little bit earlier, because by the time the freshman game was over, the varsity game had already started. So my dad's supposed to be up in the booth for the varsity game, but he wasn't even up there until like probably a good like 10 minutes into the game had already started, just because of that. So yeah, guys, like I said, I need to get in the shower and take a bed, because my words aren't making sense, because my head is literally, like, I seriously, guys, I think I have a migraine, because I'm like seeing like spots. Like, that's actually how bad it is right now. Like, my whole head is hurting, and I don't really know what it was from. I did bring earplugs for that loudspeaker I told you guys about last week, and it helped a lot, but they kept falling out. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna take them out at halftime. But the guy was not nearly as bad. Like, he was like 300 times better. Still really loud and obnoxious, just because of the placement of the speakers, but this guy I think was way better and just not as annoying as the guy last week, because it's a different school, even though they're the same, they play at the same park. Basically, I think it's actually technically a park. I don't know if it's run by their park district, but it's like both schools like pay for the park upkeep and stuff like that, and it is like woodsy and stuff like that. And like I said, they have like baseball diamonds and soccer fields and like the main like field and everything like that, but it's at the school that we played today. So I don't know, but anyways, it was a lot better, I think, than this week with this announcer. At least it wasn't as bad. So like halfway through the game, I ended up taking my earbuds out, because or my earplugs out, because I literally, like, they kept falling out. And then to the bleachers don't have anything underneath them, so it's like if it falls out, like, I'm gonna lose it underneath the bleachers and never see it again. Whereas like if it fell at like at ours at least have a stop, like, so your stuff doesn't go like underneath like the bleachers, if that makes sense. And so if I lost it, like dropped it, at least, like, you know, still be in that area. If not, it'd go underneath the bleachers at this one. So I was like, I don't want to lose these, so I ended up putting them back and taking them out at halftime, because by that time the music was all done, and like, you know, they weren't doing anything for the cheer or dance or whatever. But like I said, guys, I need to get to bed, so I'll see you all on tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye, guys.